I'm sure that you have heard the expression, sticks and stones don't break my bones. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And to that, I say bunk. Because you and I both know that words can do serious, serious damage. I'm Leslie Dories, your marriage coach, and one of the things that happens in some marriages is when things escalate into an argument and both of your tempers are hot, things come out of your mouth that you can never take back. Um, you might not mean them, or you might say you don't mean them, and you actually might apologize, but your partner can never unhear them. And there's always going to be a question in their mind as to whether or not you meant it. And the more frequently this happens, the worse the damage becomes. Now, one of the things that happens when we feel attacked or we feel wronged in some way is we have a natural tendency to either fight, flee, or freeze. Now, I'm a fighter. I am a down in the dirt, scratching, biting, kicking, nasty fighter. Not something I'm proud of and something that I've been working on. But in the 40 years that my husband and I have been together, I have never called him a name. I may have used the F word once in that entire time. And he has never done it to me. One, because he's a fleer, he's not a fighter. But this dynamic is very, very dangerous. Because when we're in that triggered state, our cognitive brain, the part that controls our behavior, literally goes offline, and we are being driven by our primitive brain, the one that says you are in danger, you are going to die. So what we do, especially if we're fighters, is we turn and fight. And if you have two fighters together and nobody takes a step back, you're just going to escalate the situation, and you're both, either one of you or both of you, is going to say something that is truly harmful. And these are the kinds of things of calling each other names, swearing at each other, being condescending, showing contempt, making character assassinations. You're so stupid. Whatever those things are, they're really, really damaging. And I get it. When you are in the heat of the moment, it is very difficult to control it. So what's the answer? Don't let yourself get spun out to that extent. Now, I say this because I've had to learn how to do this. Many years ago, my husband said to me, when you get upset, would you please not take a flamethrower to everything in your path? Meaning him. Now, I wouldn't even have to be upset with him, but if he was in my line of sight, he'd get it. And to be fair, he said this to me when I was not upset, because he's a very smart man. But the truth of the matter is, he was absolutely right, because I was damaging our marriage, and I had to stop and think, does my unfettered, mouth matter more than my relationship? And the answer that I came up with was no. But far too many people don't make that choice. They say, well, my partner made me mad. No. Your partner may have done something that you didn't like, that you interpreted as a threat, kicking off your primal brain, and you chose to feed that anger. And you chose to feed that anger through your words, through your behavior. This is where throwing things or actually getting physical with each other comes into play. And the truth of the matter is, you are now, always have been, and always will be in charge of yourself. Your partner can't make you do anything. And there's an expression about discretion being the better part of valor. Sometimes taking a tactical retreat is the best thing. Don't continue when you know you're out of control, or when you believe your partner is out of control. because engaging at that point, I'm going to tell you, is not going to work, and it's only going to make things worse. And this is really bad if you happen to be a right fighter, meaning that you are convinced that you are right about this and you are going to fight to the death. Really? About what? Most of what couples fight about is not fact. It's their opinion, it's their experience, it's their perception about fact. And quite frankly, I have never known anybody to successfully argue against somebody else's perception or experience. If I'm wrong about that, if you have, please let me know. But what it does, and especially if now if you've got a fleer, they might back down. But the turmoil is going on inside. And if you've got another right fighter, neither one of you is going to back down, and your marriage is going to suffer. So there are ways to learn how to do this. And I'm going to tell you, the reason why I know you can do this is because I had to do this. I made the choice that my marriage was more important than my outrage at whatever it might be. And that doesn't mean that my husband and I don't have difficult conversations. It doesn't mean that I don't get upset about things. It just means I have learned to manage my behavior in a way that doesn't do damage. Now, if it happens on occasion, your marriage can survive it. If it happens with any kind of frequency, your marriage is not going to be able to survive it. And by the way, that isn't about your partner, unless of course they're out of control too. It's about your choices. So I would love to hear if you have some questions about how to get through this, how to change this, because it is possible. It's possible to change it if it's your partner who's out of control. There are things that you can do, but there's skills to learn, and you have to practice them. So hopefully you have found this helpful, and if you have, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Shoot me an email if you want to share any of your challenges, and until next week, stay loving.